Okay, we're going to look today at language and gender, and we're specifically going to look at gender and occupation, so the way that women are often referred to within an occupational context in the workplace. I'm going to start off by looking at this article from the Daily Telegraph from March 2017 by Karen Sanghani, and it's called Feisty, Frigid and Frumpy, 25 Words We Only Use to Describe Women. And she starts off by talking about Roger Gale, an MP, who in 2017 referred to some of the women who worked for him as girls and came under quite a lot of criticism for that. Some of his employees, female employees, defended him, saying, look, he's not sexist, we feel valued by him. But a lot of people were saying, look, you know, these are grown women, these are adults, why are you referring to them as girls? And there is a lexical asymmetry going on there, isn't there? And Sanghani then takes the opportunity to think, okay, so what other terms are there that are used, particularly within an occupational context, but others as well, to refer to women? And she focuses quite a lot on this word feisty, which is really interesting. If you Google, if you look at it in the dictionary, you'll find that it appears to be gender neutral in terms of its literal definition. But if you look at some example sentences in the dictionary where it's used, you'll then start realizing what kind of connotations it has. So here are a couple of examples from the Collins dictionary. It says, he realized she was not a feisty woman after all. Or, why were even the most intelligent and feisty women so foolish when it came to being hopelessly in love? She actually then goes on to quote Daisy Lewis, who's a Downton Abbey actor. And this is really interesting because she plays a character, Sarah Bunting, who early part of the 20th century, she's an outspoken feminist teacher, okay? And so she speaks her mind, she's unconventional, she dares to speak out. And as a result of that, when people have written about her character, they've labelled her character as being feisty because I suppose she's acting outside of society's norms and expectations for appropriately feminine behaviour. Daisy Lewis calls feisty her least favourite word. She says this in the Mail on Sunday's You magazine. She says, have you ever heard a man described as feisty? Have you heard a male character described as feisty? I think not. She also then goes on to look at other examples of words. Have a look at the article to see what she says about some of these that are often only used to refer to women. Airhead, ambitious, bitchy, bolshy, bossy, bubbly, curvy, ditzy, emotional, frigid, frumpy, high maintenance, sassy, hysterical, working mum. It's worth having a look at some of those and thinking, okay, so what kind of connotations do they have? What are they suggesting about gender and representation? She also talks about this word abrasive and refers to a study on fortune.com by the linguist Karen Snyder, S-N-Y-D-E-R. And it's really interesting what she says about that, because she says in this fortune study by Karen Snyder, it says the study found that this word appeared 17 times in women's professional performance reviews. So I think there are about 280 or so examples of reviews that were studied, and it appeared 17 times, this word abrasive, in women's professional performance reviews, but only once for men. And men, actually, in their reviews, were sometimes openly encouraged to be more aggressive. So you can see that contrast there. You've got women being told that they're being too abrasive, but you've got men being encouraged to be more aggressive. This is a really interesting distinction here as well. This is another Telegraph article from 2014 this time by Claire Cohen. It's called Bossy, Ambitious and Now Abrasive, Sound Like a Woman You Work With. And it goes into this, the Karen Snyder study in a bit more detail. Let me just read a little bit from this to you. It says, men are told that they can develop their skills and achieve more. Women do receive this sort of feedback, but they also come in for harsher personality criticism. Just 2 out of 83 male reviews contain advice which amounts to, says Fortune, watch your tone, step back, stop being so judgmental. It features in 71 out of 94 women's reviews. So for men, it's okay to to speak out and to comment on someone else's opinions and performance and so on. Whereas the moment women do that, they're told to step back. They're told that they're being too judgmental. Have a look at this study by Karen Snyder in a bit more detail. Maybe have a look at this Telegraph article, Google it, you'll find lots of references to it. And then just make sure that you can talk about in an exam situation some of these examples, like this word feisty, maybe some of these others that Sanghani mentions, certainly this word abrasive, and particularly how they use it in an occupational context and the impact that has in terms of representation and the way that women are represented in an occupational situation.